So, are you wondering how much money can you potentially make at Dehkia Hystria and Black Desert Online in 1 hour? Well, hey, grab yourself a cup of coffee. Let's get into this week's Money Per Hour grind series. If you're curious about Dehkia Achman, I did a video on that grinding spot last week, which both of these spots are very similar to each other. Uh, Also, remember there are timestamps down below, so just click on what section you're interested in. But in this video, I'll be showing you the location, rotations, mechanics, and then finally looking at the loot slash potential money. Also, just my normal disclaimer, this video is geared towards a person who may be checking out the spot for the first time. So your money per hour may be a little less at first and then improve after you get a few hours under your belt. Also, I'm not perfect. So if I happen to leave anything out that you think is important for the spot, then let us know down in the comments. But hey, let's jump right on in. So again, just like my last video with Dehkia Achman, I did really enjoy this spot, except for a few annoying aspects. And, one of them was mentioned in my last video with Dehkia Achman. And, that is you cannot bring your horse again down in the cave. So I guess this makes this the second pay to win spot. So two pay to win spots, Dehkia Achman, Dehkia Hystria. And, again, it's just really annoying aspect of the game that just needs to be addressed. Maybe one day they will fix it, maybe. But yeah, you still need a ton of storage maids to be efficient at this spot. And, if you're like me, when we got free maids, I always chose the central market maids, which I do have about 13 storage maids. And, at least the grind speed that I was at, I didn't have any issues, but I did come close. Also, a viewer from my last video kind of taught me something new, which, there's a setting in the game that will actually allow your UI to stay up even if you get attacked. So never even knew that you could even do that, which is pretty awesome. So, and y'all are awesome. So thank you for sharing that great information, which let me see if I can actually show you here real quick, that setting. So if you go to settings and go to general, miscellaneous, and then you go all the way down to right here, hide UI when struck. So you just click that, and yeah, your UI won't, at least your inventory UI won't disappear. So pretty cool. Thank you for sharing that. Now the other annoying aspect with this specific grind spot, at least for me, is that it's super far away, like on the other side of the map, and it's just kind of an inconvenient spot. Now remember, there is fast travel, which to be honest, I totally forgot about. And I was literally going from like Heidel all the way to Valencia City with my horse when I could have just teleported straight to Valencia City. So rip. However, if you need to get your horse leveled up, it's not a bad way of doing it. So location. So this grinding spot is going to be in the desert, right? So if I zoom all the way out, we can see that Hystria is right here, and it's pretty close to Valencia City, right? And yeah, you can see that it's literally in the corner of the map. And if we zoom all the way out, we can see that Heidel is right over here. So it's a good little distance, right? So make sure to use your teleportation here with the wells. Now you can buy yourself a compass at first to help kind of navigate through the desert, or you can watch how I get there now.
In the dark, I roam the night, sword in hand, monsters out of sight. Dehkia Hystria, depths run deep. In this cave, no time for sleep. Finding monsters till morning light. XP gain, gotta reach new height. In the shadows, I prevail. Victory in the secret trail. In tunnels, can't see the end. Every turn an enemy or friend. Swirling dust, a dancer's grace. Battle through this endless space. XP gang gotta reach new height. In the shadows I'll prevail. Victory in the secret trail. Lost in tunnels, can't see the end. Every turn an enemy or friend. Swirling dust, a dancer's grace. Battle through this endless space. Grinding mobs till morning light. XP gang gotta reach new height. In the shadows I'll prevail. Victory in the secret trail. Echoes ring from cave walls high. No retreat, no goodbye. Through the battles we stand tall. In Dehkia Hystria we won't fall. Grinding mobs till morning light. XP gang gotta reach new height. In the shadows I'll prevail. Victory.
Now, once you get here, there are 2 Dehkia spots, which I haven't had any issues with anybody, really being here and it being congested. But yeah, in terms of rotation, there's no specific rotation. You're just going to go to one of the specific spots, right? And turn on your lantern, and then the mobs will just kind of spawn in that, specific spot. So you don't really have to move or leave that area, which I like. It's pretty nice. Of course, before you can do that, you're going to need the Dehkia lantern, which if you don't have that, it's super easy to get it. You just have to complete 3 quests that will literally take you a few minutes. So, really easy. And I can show you that quest here. So if we go to suggested and we go all the way down to level 60, and we can see that the quest, it's going to be combat right here. So level 61, combat. Here's the quest. Again, pretty easy to do and follow. Also, when you finish, your grind here, you can just use a map, right, to teleport you, back to the nearest town, which would be Valencia City, which I highly recommend. That's going to save you a lot of time, right? So if I pull up the Central Market and type in map here, we have the Traveler's Map, right? So you just use this, and this will take you to Valencia City. So gear, let me pull up the monster zone info here at this spot. And so we can see, if I look at view total stats, that the recommended AP is going to be 920. The recommended DP is going to be 440. And then the max AP limit is going to be 1000. I usually sit with all my buffs and everything on, like around 954 AP. This spot, these mobs do, at least in my opinion, hit a little bit harder than Dehkia Hystria. And we'll get into the mechanics here in a second. But, there's one specific mechanic that you want to pay attention to. But they do hit just a little bit harder, I think, than Dehkia Hystria. So yeah, still some pretty high gear requirements for this spot. But I would say, Dehkia Hystria and Dehkia Hystria are pretty 2 good like Dehkia spots to try out if you are kind of new to the whole Dehkia lantern aspect. So I would say those 2 spots are pretty easy to kind of get your toes wet a little bit. So mechanics, you're just going to go to the statue, right? So there's one behind me, and you're just going to turn the lantern on, and then the mobs will start to spawn in. And, you want to try to avoid the red areas on the ground. Now, throughout, you will see a message appear sometimes stating that an intruder neutralization failed activating safeguard weapon. And so you'll see a mob spawn kind of in the corner somewhere, which he should have like a purple glowing circle around it. And then you'll just try to want to focus that mob right away, because he will send out a attack that would be noted by, kind of a red visual on the ground, and it can definitely chunk your health. Next year, sometimes you'll get an event stating, warning, activating intruder extermination weapon, which will spawn an Elton, and then that mob can do some pretty juicy damage, and it's pretty tanky. And once you kill the mob, it will spawn a buttload of mobs that make, I honestly make my 5-year-old PC just cry. So a lot of mobs spawn in, and then finally, again, you'll want to just properly manage your maids, right? And so, you can check a button that will use multiple maids at once, rather than trying to do a single maid at a time. But just be mindful, if you do use multiple maids, try to align the trash loot number to like a specific number. For instance, say you get to 1650 with your trash loot, then you may want to try to use your maids, because if you do like 1680, then you're going to use like an extra maid that will, cause you to be efficient. So hopefully that made sense. I don't know. So buffs that you may run to be a little bit more efficient at clearing could include a simple craw mill. Then you have the corrupt frenzy drought, tent villa buffs, church buffs, Bell's Heart, best in slot artifacts, or if you don't have those, the general AP monster artifacts is fine. You can use any PvE Lightstone combination that you can afford. I'm broke, so this is the one that I've been running for many months. Also, you could run a full-blown elixir rotation here if you wanted to, but honestly, just like with Dehkia Hystria, this spot is pretty easy. So I would just, stick with the other buffs that I mentioned previously. But, if you wanted to do a full-blown elixir rotation, then a general setup would look something like this. So let's go over the drops here real quick. So I have the monster zone info pulled up here at this spot. And so kind of starting at the top with the equipment. So this place drops this specific artifact. I would just process this down using simple alchemy to get the purified lightstone and just sell that on the market. Next here we have the Deboreka earring, which is probably one of the reasons why you're coming here, is to get this earring. Super rare drop. You're probably looking at this thing dropping every 4 to 6 hours ish. When I was here, I didn't get any Deboreka earring. But yeah, you can see it sells for close to 800 million. So if you get this, you're sitting pretty good for the hour. Next here, we have the Tungrad earring, which this is, these two items, Tungrad earring and the necklace, they're going to obviously vary depending on the central marketplace value. But they're just both kind of a good way to add in some extra money there on the side, even if they are, like 44 million currently. Next, down below, we have the Blackstones, right? So you can use this to enhance your regular gear, or you can get fail stacks out of this, or you can sell it on the marketplace. So, Blackstones, there's many uses for this item. So sealed black magic crystal. So you can either click this to get a random crystal, or you can, sell this on the marketplace, or you can process this down to get like magical shards. So again, many uses for this specific item. And then the upgraded compass part, right? So this is probably another prime reason why you're coming here, is to get your legendary treasure piece for your compass, right? And so here at Hystria, there are 2 specific pieces that you need, right? And then Achman drops the other piece. And so once you get those 3 pieces, you can combine that to make your legendary compass, whatever it's called. I don't have it. I don't really care for it. Kaffir stones. So yeah, you can use this specific item to kind of enhance your regular gear to get to level 10, right? Kaffir level 10, which then you can combine that with a specific flame to get one of your in-game gear pieces, or you can just, sell this on the market as well. We have the ancient spirit dust. And so mainly this is going to be used to craft Kaffir stones, right? So 5 ancient spirit dust and 1 blackstone will give you 1 Kaffir stone. scroll written in ancient language. So you can sell this on the market currently, as the time of making this video, 2.3 million. And so, this can also vary. I've seen these go up to like 3, 4 million, just kind of depends. But essentially, if you want to kind of hold on to these, you can just run these scrolls to make you a little bit of extra side money. Because the benefit with these scrolls is that you get memory fragments, right? So it can be pretty lucrative. And if for some reason the marketplace is dry of memory fragments, which there really shouldn't be, but if it is, then you can run these scrolls to get those memory fragments. And then finally, the trash loot, right? So you can see this is going to sell for 34,270 silver. So pretty good. Now let's see what I got in the few hours that I was here, just using a level 2 loot scroll with no agris. You can pay 50 million to get the tent buff for a 50% increase on your drop rate. But before we go over my hours, let's take a look at Garmoff's potential average money per hour at 138% drop rate, which is what I'm mostly at if there is no drop rate event going on. And also using a yellow loot scroll is around 963 million, with the average trash being around 19.k. And just remember, these numbers from Garmoth might not be the most accurate, but it's the only data that we really have to compare with. Also, right, it's important to note that your money per hour is going to vary based on that drop rate. Now let's take a look at my few hours, which I was sitting at like around 168% drop rate, and 2 hours were done with my striker, and then 1 hour was done with my dosa. So my first hour was 561 million and 15k trash, and then my second hour I got around 645 million, and for the trash loot I got around 15.2k. And then my third and final hour with my dosa I got 516 million, and for the trash loot I got around 13.4k. So, my verdict of this place is that, again, it's very similar to Dehkia Achman. Both of these spots are very RNG based. And if you get a Deboreka drop, then your money per hour is going to be really good. But if you get a dry spell, which most likely you will, the money won't be as good compared to other spots. But I still think it's, worth trying these spots out, especially if you're new to the whole Dehkia lantern aspect. But most likely you'll be coming here probably for the compass and or the Deboreka accessory. So yeah, if you made it this far into the video, you're awesome, and thank you for the support. Let me know down in the comments, have you tried this spot out yet? And if so, what are your trash numbers looking like? Also, when you came here for the first time, did you make the same mistake I did and try to bring your horse into the cave, resulting in your horse dying? But with that being said, thanks for watching, and here's another video that you can watch. But hey, I will see you in the next video. Peace.
Sunsets on that desert sky. It's just you